Welcome to this week's weekly message. I love telling stories about my life. If you're not interested, stay tuned. They may get more interesting. I had a very amazing conversation the other day with a friend. He says that he has experienced an awakening in the past few years and is now what I would call a recovering Christian. We have a lot of what he calls God talks. Most recently, we talked about judgment and what that means. And somehow the conversation got around to channeling. He asked me a question. He prefaced his question and said, I don't know quite how to phrase this, and I don't want to upset you, but can I ask you a question? And I thought, uh-oh, what's going to happen? And I said, yes, of course. And then he asked, why would anyone want to learn how to channel? Well, I was a little nervous before he asked that question, but he knew that I taught channeling on several different levels. I knew the Channeler's Method, the Channeler's Academy, the How to Channel Live class. So I guess that's why he was nervous about answering the question. For me, I was expecting a lot harder question than that one. As I told him, and I will tell you, just in case you're searching for a greater understanding of what it means to channel. Channeling, as Adironnda says, is a direct link, a divine link, really to the realms that you truly have access to that are within you and all around you. Everyone has a set of guides within them and around them. Some call them a guardian angel. They communicate with you all of the time. They keep you from harm. They help guide your path. And indeed, when you ask, help you understand certain situations. That's the key. You get to ask. They are messengers from God or Source, or they are God. Is there really a difference? Anyway, somewhere along the line, we humans decided that God or our angelic realm was somehow separate from us, and we couldn't communicate with them, or they didn't exist, or they were there to judge us or punish us, or when we did something wrong. Well, that is simply not true. God, your angelic realm, is only there for your support and guidance. They will never, ever interfere, but they will always be there to help whenever they are asked. For example, when I first woke up in 1996, I said, not when I woke up from bed, but when I awakened to becoming more enlightened, I guess, I said every single day, I said, please, please, please help me stay on my divine path and help me connect with exactly the people or experiences that are in my highest good to connect with today. If I waver or veer off that path, please get my attention and bring me back to what I am to experience or gently learn from. And please help me learn that lesson with love, with compassion, and most importantly, with ease and grace. Then I simply paid attention to everyone I encountered. And I found miraculous daily encounters and experiences. Some I might not have liked quite as much as others, but I knew that they were set forth in front of me on my path for some specific reason. Now, in channeling or learning to channel, that is setting the intention to be more consciously aware of those guides, that source that is indeed communicating and helping you along the way, or in some aspects, helping others. I mean, when someone asks you a question and they're going through something emotional or traumatic, or they just ask you a question and you spout forth some wisdom, and then you think, wow, where did that come from? That's channeling. Now, how would you like to live at that channeling level or frequency all the time so you can be divinely guided and connect and share with the level of wisdom consistently? You can. We call it channeling. Adironnda calls it a link between you and the divine. You can channel on so many different levels: in ordinary conversation, in art, the written work. I have one client who writes murder mysteries, and she says she channels the stories and then writes them down. I know. How cool is that? I mean, when I share or write a spiritual happy hour or a morning message for a New Thought church, I channel that. Wayne Dyer used to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and sit at his kitchen table with a legal pad to write his books. Again, that's channeling. Joy channels the most beautiful artwork, and sometimes they're inspired by one of our 21-day programs, or she channels in designing her landscaping in her yard. Why learn to channel? Why not? It helps us to be more consciously aware of our direct communication with Source. They say that prayer is when you talk to God and meditation is when you listen. Channeling is actually that two-way conversation, talking and listening. Then you have beings that are outside of your own physical realm who are messengers still sent from Source or God to find a link that can hold their frequency to help with the people on this planet and really the shifting energy. Some examples of channeling that's from outside of your physical realm would be Adironnda. They came to me from the outside. Cryon, Abraham, who channels through Esther Hicks, or Alcazar, who channels through Prageet Harris. Those energies are still sent from Source to find a person that they could hold, that could hold their energy so they could help the people on the planet. That is really channeling on a whole different scale than channeling your own higher self. See, when a person raises their vibration, personally setting the intention to rid themselves of any blockages that might be in their way, to them living at the highest frequency possible, well, then beings from outside of your physical realm, they seem to take notice of that and begin connecting to those individuals. But that is a topic for another day. Right now, we'll see you next week. Namaste.